Hi guys, my name is Nicola and I'm the founder of Propose PR and Propose PR Consultancy. Thank you so much for joining me today. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you some tips on how to run a small business whilst juggling a little child. So for those of you who don't know, I have a little girl called Sophia who's 3 years old, and since becoming a mum and still trying to run a very successful PR company, I have learned some top tips along the way which I wanted to share. I'm sure as she grows older and as her needs change, I will need some more tips. I will learn things along the way. But for now, based on where I am in my business, which is hugely profitable, I'm growing at a really nice pace. And obviously I have 2 full days out of the office with my daughter. So I wanted to share my tips on how I juggle it. By the way, I'm not saying, a disclaimer here, I'm not saying that I've got it all under control. I'm not saying that it's perfect. I'm not saying that I know the answer, but what I do know is that having gone through a bit of a burnout last year, if you've watched my story so far, if not, the link is below, having really struggled the last 3 years to try and get some sort of balance, I do finally feel I'm in a place where there's a lot more calmness. So some of my top tips: on a Sunday, I spend up to half an hour going through my diary, online diary. I have a Google Calendar, and what I do is I populate that diary for the week ahead with my working hours. So I look at, I'll go back a stage. What I do is I put in the things in the diary that I have to do, things that I cannot get out of, and my daughter's needs will always come first. So whether that's a nursery pickup, a nursery drop off, any appointments she has, any social events that she has, anything around my daughter, I put that in the calendar first. And then also anything to do in my personal life that I must do also goes in my calendar. And then anything in my business world that I have to do, whether that's an important meeting, whether it's a call with a client, whatever, that goes in the diary. So all the things that I really have to do, that I'm committed to doing, goes in the diary first. Then I put in things that I would like to do. And for me, I like to exercise daily if I can, for at least an hour a day. They're things that make me feel good. Exercise makes me feel really good and energized. So I put that in my diary next. And then I do like to treat myself once this week to a spa treatment where I can. So I put that in. And then of course there's time with family and friends at the weekend, and that all goes into my diary. Then what I do is I block out my time in the office for my clients, and I call that working in my business. So for me, working in my business are things that daily I have to do: answering emails, answering phone calls, strategy for my clients, working with my team, coming up with ideas, creativity, strategy, etc. That's working in my business for my clients. That all gets diary planned and allocated for the week ahead. And then I also allocate time for working myself on my own business. So that's my own business growth, my own business strategy, my own business development, things that I would like to achieve that week for my business, whether it's planning a forthcoming shoot, whether it's working behind the scenes on a new web redesign, whatever it is. And I put that in there. And then I color code everything. So social thing will get one color, work thing will get another color, family things will get another color. So I can clearly see before I go to bed on a Sunday night my forthcoming week. Other things that I would say when trying to juggle work, life and children is be really, really disciplined. So when I'm meant to be in mummy mode, I am not trying to juggle work, and I'm very, very clear. So I have really clear parameters. So on the days that I'm off with my daughter, I am off. I brief my team in the morning and I check in again in the evening, but she does not see me on my phone, hardly ever. Try as much as I can, but when I'm with her, I am with her. I'm also learning the power of saying no. So before children, I would go to networking events, I would go for coffee with somebody, just have chats about business stuff. Where I live, for me, it's a, let me think now, 4-hour round trip from where I live in Kent to get up to London. So if I'm going to be going into London, it has to be really effective. It has to be maximum use of my time, and it has to be beneficial for me and my clients. So since having my daughter, I've learnt to say no. It's a lot more easier now, but I'm very, very ruthless with my time because time is precious. The other thing that I've learned is you have no control sometimes over certain situations. And yes, I might beat myself up. I might suffer from mum guilt. I can't do it all. I juggle the best that I can. But when I'm at work, I'm at work. And when I'm being a mummy, I'm being a mummy. When I'm being a mummy, if my work calls for me, if it needs for me, I can't. I've dedicated that time to my daughter. I will do what I can when I can. When I'm back in the office, but likewise, if I'm in the office and my daughter needs me, there's a problem, or she needs picking up from nursery, she comes first. Whilst there's things that I cannot control, I try not to beat myself up about it, because that's negativity and it's not going to help in any situation. My ultimate takeaway is to be super organised. Short little hacks. If you can get help, whether that's help in your work, whether that's help in the house, whether it's being extra prepared, whether it's getting up an hour earlier in the morning to prepare lunches and food and meals for the day, whatever it is, my top golden tip is to be super organised. And I find that adding on the extra half an hour on a Sunday night, once I've got my diary planned for the week ahead, is thinking about all these little hacks and what I can do to save the odd 2-5 minutes throughout my week. I prep that on a Sunday night so that I've generated an extra 1 or 2 hours throughout my week where I can. So I hope that's been useful. If you have any work life hacks that you'd love to share, I'd love to hear from them. So please do leave your comments in the comment box below. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for tuning in. All the best. Bye for now.